week, our heroes talk about the new Jeep Grand Cherokee. Hooray for Hockey Day, or is it? And we get emotional about support dogs. All this and more on this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. It only counts if you go Bardowskis. Welcome to this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. We are good for your ears. I'm Dan, and you can find me everywhere at RFS Dan.
I'm Jess, and you can find me everywhere at Gone to the Snow Dogs and wherever else we are.
I said it in my head like 20 times. Plug your Facebook. Plug RFS Dan on Facebook. Like specifically plug that. And then I didn't. I went into my like usual bit. Same with you. I thought you were going to plug maybe your shorts channel.
I thought about it. It's so hard. Like, we talked about this last week, too. Mm-hmm. It's so hard because now there's so many things. Like, what do I say? Right. Just me. Yep. You're going to find me other places. Yeah. Just search for Gone to the Snow Dogs. You'll find all of it.
Anytime I've ever wanted to find more about somebody, it's easy to find. So, I know we promote ourselves, but at this point, I get it. Right. I get it. So I don't have any mugs of anything to drink today, Jess, because it doesn't feel like wintertime here. I have this really nice tea machine. I got the mug. I have all the teas. And I know you don't have to always drink tea when it's cold, but for me, it feels like a hot cocoa. But it's 60 degrees out. I guess that's cold, but it just does not feel like winter here. So it's kind of hard to get into that winter groove. I'm still under a lot of blankets and stuff, and that feels snuggly.
Right.
And I'm not complaining. Way better than being hot. You guys remember summertime.
Right.
Woo! That was crazy. But, could you drop 20 more degrees? Let me be a little chilly or afraid to go outside, more than 10 seconds without a jacket. So I'm a little bummed. I need it to be a little bit colder so I can enjoy, like, all the things that come with winter.
I just want snow.
Do you have snow?
We have snow, but it kind of it half melted and then half rained and then everything froze again. And now it's like 25 degrees outside right now. So everything is ice. Mm-hmm. And if you walk on the snow, it's just bumpy ice. It's not really snow. So really, everything is dangerous right now. And last night everybody in our town on Facebook was like, don't go out, black ice. They had rollover accidents on 32. And it was, you can't even tell. When I let the dogs out the back door, I have that little cement patio area. Solid ice. As soon as I let them out, both of them were like, "Voof."
What causes that?
It's just how when it rains, then cement gets wet. Mm-hmm. It's pretty much that. Only it freezes.
Right, because when the plow was pushing the stuff when we were coming back from Gaylor, you could see it was an ice cube at some point. It turns into an ice cube. Does this happen every winter to you? Like at some point during the winter?
Yeah, pretty much. It's usually when it starts to warm up and then it freezes again. So everything has this layer of ice. We're not actually supposed to we have like a 30% chance of snow on Thursday and a 30% chance of snow on Friday, which is nothing. It means maybe. And then we don't have snow in the forecast again for like 10 days after that. So I don't know how much more snow we're going to get. It's hard to say.
More than I'm going to get. That's for sure. Definitely more than I'm going to get. But at least it's winter there. Have you been enjoying the winter so far? Like, do you feel like it's winter, or are you having the same problem I'm having where it's just not cold enough yet?
I mean, I feel like it's cold enough, but I feel like because we haven't really been going anywhere, we can't really go and enjoy it. And because there's not enough snow to take the dogs out sledding, I feel like I look out the window and go, oh, there's outside. But it's treacherous, so now I'm kind of stuck in here still. I mean, I'm stuck in here anyway, but...
Right, but now you're super, super stuck in there.
Yes. The bad thing is when it gets cold like this and then the dampness hits, it feels way colder than it actually is. So, when it's 20 or 30 degrees and it's just cold, that's one thing. But when it starts to get damp and everything starts to melt, for some reason, the dampness in the air makes it feel way colder than it actually is.
Send some of that over here. I got up this morning and it's dark. It's just dark. And I'm like, I'm like a sad plant without sun. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like I'm not sad, but I'm sitting here this morning and I'm going like, man, this sucks. And then I went and I opened up every single window and everything's all open and stuff. I had to turn off the heater and open the front door, and the cats loved it. They're like, oh my gosh, like it just feels like alive again. So I have that going on in here right now. I have single pane glass windows, so I can feel the chill a little bit. But I had to do that. I'm like, oh man, if I'm stuck inside, I need to open up these windows. I haven't really been anywhere. Yeah. I've really been pretty much stuck to the house.
Yeah, like most everybody else.
Right. Hey,
every morning we get up every morning and we make sure to open up all the windows and things like that. Even though like if we keep I have thermal curtains on my big windows, so if we keep them shut, it actually keeps the house warmer.
Yeah.
But I don't want to keep them shut. Like It's just, I don't want to keep them shut. So, of course, we open up all the windows and try to let the light in and stuff like that. And we did go for a drive today. We went, when I went to the P.O. Box today, we drove around downtown a little bit.
Oh, nice.
And then we were talking about, we should go drive somewhere. And Jamie's like, well, we can't. The roads are way too bad. In town, they're not bad. But once you get out of town, they're just bad.
Oh, yeah.
We stopped by the harbor and you could see the ice. Because it's been warm and then cold and then warm and then cold, the ice is starting to form where it looks like the big glass pieces, but it's ice.
Yeah.
So in a couple more days, I have a feeling that'll be really... I didn't get out and film it because like I said, it was treacherous. It's very icy and I didn't have I have ice tracks that are like spikes, metal spikes that go on the bottom of my shoes.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have them with me. So I'm like, I can't really get out of the car and walk over there and film because I don't want to fall like my neighbor did getting the mail. I don't know if it's cold enough. I don't know if it'll be blue ice quite yet or not. There is some blue ice at Mackinac, but we're not going up there right now. But I don't know. Right now it's just regular ice.
I don't want to fall. I don't.
No, you don't want to fall.
I don't want to fall like your neighbor.
The one thing that living here that I think most people learn is in the wintertime, you do the penguin walk. You waddle everywhere. Small steps. Don't have to pick your feet up off the ground. If it's icy, just slide your feet. That's all you got to do. Or, like I said, the spikes on your shoes really, really help.
Oh, I bet those would help for sure.
And four-wheel drive does not help on black ice. When it's ice, is ice. It doesn't matter if you have four wheels or two wheels or one wheel. It's still ice.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Breaking hips, man. You guys probably have one of those signs that says Alpina. And how many days since a broken hip?
Right.
Yeah. Is there a bone of choice that gets broken? Like, hey, don't fall because you'll break your hip, your leg, or
it's usually hips, ankles, legs, and ankles. Okay, wrists. Right. If you land wrong and they usually say if you're gonna fall, try to fall on your butt. That's if you're going down, that's the direction.
Go down
and
your
I've
butt,
done
right.
it. I've done it when I think we've got. I mean, you saw me fall one time, but I've fallen on the ice before, and I'm pretty good at falling. I know that sounds really bad.
You get it down like when a cat jumps out, and then somehow they twist their way around and back to their feet before they land. Mm-hmm.
When we were up north and we walked across Lake Superior to the Eben Ice Caves, this was years ago. It was really icy, and we didn't have the yak tracks. We didn't have the metal for our shoes yet, which we got them after that. Somebody sent them to us actually. We made it all the way over there, and I had camera in hand, and I think Jamie had the dogs. I wasn't holding the dogs because he wouldn't let me because it was icy. And sure enough, I got over there. I was looking at the ice caves. I turned and looked the wrong way, and I felt my feet come right out from underneath me, and I'm like, just land on your butt. And I was okay. I had a massive bruise. It was not pretty, but nobody saw it anyway.
Right.
Yeah, it was. I have fallen more times than I care to admit on the ice. Knock on wood.
Right.
I haven't broken anything. Jamie broke his toe like 10 years ago falling through the ice. We did get that on camera. It was actually it would have been 2013. It was the year Shiloh passed away, the year we got Memphis, because we were on our way back from the dog sled race where we met Memphis's entire family. And we stopped at Akiak Falls, and Jamie walked out on the ice, and I'm like, you don't know where the ice is thick or not. Like, what are you doing? And sure enough, his foot went straight through, all the way up to his hip. His leg went straight down into the ice.
That's deep.
Yep, and I don't know if it was rocks that he hit, and I do have that on camera, or ice that he hit. But he broke his toe when he did that.
Ouch.
If I can find that clip, you'll have to insert it behind us or something.
Maybe I take it back. Maybe I'm okay with being here in just chilly weather. It's overcast a little bit, but
But it's not treacherous.
It's not treacherous at all. No, nothing here at all. How's Memphis doing? She was a little under the weather last week. Could we get a Memphis report?
She's pretty much back to her normal sleepy self.
Aww.
I have discovered, and I'm gonna have to catch this on camera. The past few nights, I've discovered Memphis's new favorite thing is bedtime. Like, she's always been really gets really excited when she goes into the bedroom and gets on the bed, but lately I've been working a little bit later at night. Still trying to get through all the cards and stuff like that. So I'll let the dogs outside, I'll let the dogs back inside, and Memphis will run down the hallway. Even though this door is open and all the lights are still on in the office, Memphis will run down the hallway, and she'll go straight to the bedroom door. And for those of you that don't know, my bedroom door's on that side, the office door's on this side at the end of the hallway. So she'll get all the way to the end of the hallway, and she'll stop and she'll look at the bedroom door and she'll look at me and I'm like, we're not going to bed.
Oh, she wants you to go to bed.
She wants to go to bed. She's like, we're going to bed. I want to go to bed. So what was it last night? Last night I opened the bedroom door. She went in there. She went to bed. I came back into the office. Now this is my shadow dog. She stayed in there. She was like, no, I'm going to bed.
Really?
I'm done. Yep. She didn't want to come back in the office. She was like, I'm staying in here. And she does that because if she beats Jamie to bed, Jamie won't move her. If Jamie goes to bed before her, and I think that's what it is. If Jamie gets in bed before her, she doesn't get the spot she wants.
She has to curl up.
Yep.
That makes sense. Smart dog.
Yeah. Dang. So she's doing a lot better. And Kira's still a pain in the butt.
A new level of relaxing. Oh my gosh, I know. She is. She is. I feel like Mouse is doing the same. Today there was nothing that was going to satisfy him. He ran all over the place and he was biting on stuff and he was just going crazy. So I played with him for a while and he's running around. There was no tiring him out and he was squawking around and I don't know what his deal was or what he wanted, but he was on it today. He's gotten a little bit more inside cat friendly, a little bit, purring on me, rolling around and stuff, which is good because for a while there he didn't like me. He didn't like me. He wanted to be left alone.
I say that about Kira all the time. I'm like, you don't even like me. Because I think she likes Jamie more than she likes me. But I think all the puppies like Jamie more than me.
All the cats like Crystal. He does stuff with her that he just wouldn't even do with me at all. And I'm like, please love me. And he does that thing where he'll lay like right out of my arm's reach and sleep.
Right.
Does Kira do that too?
Kira doesn't like it. Like, you know how you can grab a hold of Memphis and like actually hug her and hold her, and she's just like, this is great.
Right.
If Kira's laying on the couch and I come up to her and I pet her, she's fine. But the minute I like start to get close to her, she's like, what are you doing?
Right.
And she like her ears immediately, and then as soon as I put my arms around her, that dog squirms so hard. She hates it. She'll let me do it at night on her terms, but if she's like napping and I just try to like, I just want to hug you, she's like, no, you're not done, you can't hold me still. Her legs, she squirms so hard. And of course I tease her, I'll hold on to her for a second, and Jamie's like, that's why she hates it. And I'm like, well,
that's
exactly, I used to do the same thing to Memphis.
Well, you're petting him and put him down, he doesn't want to be held, but I love him. I'm almost offended. I'm not, because they're animals, but I'm almost offended. Right. It's like, I've given you a free golden ticket. Yeah. This is how you repay me, and you smell like the litter box. Like, and so he's hopefully getting a tiny bit better at that. A tiny bit. Yeah. But
Kira has her moments where she really, really, really wants to snuggle, and she really, really, really wants to be petted, and then she has her moments where as soon as you get close to her, she's like, I don't want anything to do with you. You should go now. Yeah,
I'm about to get one of those fancy waterfall dishes for the cats.
Yes.
I'm excited.
They're gonna love it.
I'm excited. I don't know where I'm going to put it yet, but I'm excited for it. I like the noise of it, if not for anything. And you linked me to a cool one, so I'm excited to get one of those for the cats. I've been wanting one for ages, and then today
I love mine. The biggest pain in the butt is remembering to wash them. I just have my Alexa remind me to do it, and that's every Monday. Every Monday I wash them. Every other Monday I replace the filters. Right, and filters are very inexpensive. I added some to the cart as well. But I'm excited. I'll have to report back on that if any of you guys are thinking about changing to natural water. I don't know what to call it. The waterfall water. You should. I read up a lot on it, and it's good reasons why. I have two of them in my house, and my dogs love them.
Yeah, so I'll report back on how that goes.
I'm excited.
When I was outside a little bit ago, the next door neighbors were having a birthday party outside, and it was the cutest thing ever. They're like, their kids are grown up, and their kids have kids now, so it looked like it was grandparents' birthday. And their presents are still out there on the table, but they had a little table with all the presents, and then out in the street, everybody was spread out, and they were all singing happy birthday and stuff, and
Aww.
and it was the same. It's the same family that was all in their Christmas stuff.
When you got rid of the tree?
Right. So I went out there and I made a joke like, all right, Tuesday afternoon birthday parties, bring me a slice of cake. And they all laughed and stuff, and I went in, but it was so cute to see them all out there they're social distancing, which it's cute for how sad everything is. Like, oh, this is what it's resorted to, but they're doing it just like the commercials. So, I don't know. I thought that was cute. I think I should have my next birthday party like via, well, I guess I do everything live stream anyway.
Yeah, you kind of do. Yeah,
I think so. I think with this lockdown, more people are going to learn technology. Do you think the level of technology has gone up in people's homes?
I do. I think so. It has in my house, and I love technology anyway.
Right. Yeah. Same Same here. It's interesting. Getting people more interested in stuff like Instacart and DoorDash or curbside pickup, stuff that it's really hard to get people to adopt. I noticed maybe over the last year or so when we started talking about curbside pickup and stuff, nobody was ever in that spot. Isn't that right, people? You'd go to Target and you would see those curbside pickup spots just empty. Nobody's in there at all, and now when I drive by the Walmart, there's a line of traffic to get into the 4 spots for the curbside pickup.
Yep.
So they're learning. It reminds me of the drive-thrus in Japan. When they introduced drive-thrus in Japan, people were going through the drive-thru and then parking their cars and getting out with their food. And it took a long time to teach them that you're supposed to eat this in your car.
Right.
Eat this in your car. Don't go through the drive-thru and then park and bring the food back inside the place to eat. So it's going to be like that. They're being taught how to use technology. So way to go, everybody that's afraid of technology for for fast tracking curbside pickup. It fast tracked it by a handful of years.
Yeah, it's nice because you order and you say they'll let you know when it's ready, and then they message you and say, oh, due to high demand, you can't have this.
Oh, wait, my gosh. Yes. Hold on. Let's talk about that in a second. What I did see today, though, is on PetSmart, I wanted to order one of those waterfall dishes, and it said I could get it by 3 this afternoon. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I click on it, and DoorDash popped up. They were going to go, bring me my thing. And I'm like, that's so cool. That's like, yes. Yeah, Jess, so what happened with you? First of all, you know what? That rolls up into a whole big story. Let's talk about it. So let's backtrack real quick. If you guys notice, if you're watching the video version of the CC Mouse podcast on YouTube, we are rocking our hockey gear this week because tomorrow is the start of the new hockey season.
Yay!
I'm so excited about that. I'm really excited for hockey to be back. I kind of watched football this season for a while because I needed a sport. And that ended for me last week. And so it's hockey time. I'm super excited. So how you going to watch hockey, Jess? Just turn on your cable box and off you go?
Yeah, well, so last season we watched with Hulu because most of the games that we watch are aired on Fox Sports Detroit, which is the regional Fox Sports channel.
Right.
Last year we watched the first year I think we watched using that Fubo TV, and then they got rid of Fox Sports. So then we went to Hulu Live TV, and then they got rid of it in October, I think it was, or whenever they got rid of it. But they got rid of it as well. So I've been like searching. All right, well, how do I watch this without having to get Spectrum, Charter, whatever? It's called Spectrum now, but it used to be Charter Cable. I'm like, how do I do this without having to give Spectrum more of my money? Well, AT&T Uverse has it, but it's $90 a month. And I'm like, I'm not paying $90 a month. Everybody was telling me, oh, you can just get the NHL Network package. Not if I want to watch local games. I can't because the local games would be blacked out.
Correct.
If I didn't live in Michigan, it'd be different.
Yeah, I could watch your games.
Exactly.
But I couldn't watch the Kings if I chose to watch them.
Right, exactly. So I've been going through and trying to figure it out. Finally found out that, I found out that Spectrum, which is who I have my internet through, the cable company, they have a streaming service. And I'm like, okay, then I don't have to get a box for the television and all that garbage, and I can, I can use my Fire Stick or my Roku. Oh, but no.
Foreshadowing.
So I go through this I call them, I tell them what I want. I'm going to make this story way shorter than when I told it to you. Talked to the lady, told the lady, all I want is Fox Sports Detroit. Mm-hmm. Okay, no problem. We're gonna give you the TV Choice streaming package. It'll be $24.99. Yeah, it'll be $24.99 a month. And I'm like, $24.99 a month. That's not bad. I can handle that. I'm gonna cancel it when hockey's over anyway. I don't watch television.
Yeah, that's about how much I'm paying for my center ice. But I can watch I can watch all the out of market games though. But right. Yeah, you spend $75 and then you got hockey.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, this isn't bad. Set me up. So then she's like, okay, well, what other stations do you want? You get to pick 10. You get like 50 channels, but you get to specifically pick 10 channels that are like in the next tier or something. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't watch TV. Well, do you want this or this or this or that? I don't care. Just pick 10 of the most popular. Right. Well, what kind of TV do you watch now? I don't watch TV now. Well, what do you have? I said, well, I have Netflix and Amazon Prime. What do you watch? I watch Cobra Kai and Mandalorian.
Did you say, lady, I make TV?
And she's going on and on and on.
She's just trying to do her job.
Oh my God. And I just pick the 10 most popular channels. I don't care. So finally, I realized that she wasn't understanding that I really didn't care. So I went through and I just picked like 10 random channels. She added the 10 random channels, and then she's like, so, how do you keep in contact with your family?
No!
How do I keep in contact with my family?
I got this cool new device. It's called the telephone.
I'm like, with my phone? Oh, well, who do you have for your mobile phone service? I'm like, Verizon. Oh, I can save you so much money. No, you can't.
Much. OMG.
You really can't. You can't save me so much money. I can get you this deal that's $14.99 a month per gigabyte of data.
What?
And you get unlimited talk and text. And I went, everybody has unlimited talk and text. Oh, not everybody. Not everybody has unlimited talk and text. Yeah, they do. Every cell phone service has unlimited talk and text.
This beeper function.
So she starts going on, and I'm like, I have 4 lines because my parents are on my phone.
Right.
You know, I pay for my parents' cell phones.
You guys love family plans in your life.
Yeah, so my parents are on there. I don't have unlimited data. I have an old plan that has rollover data, non-expiring rollover data. So for the past year, when we haven't gone anywhere, my 18 gig a month that I get that doesn't get used because I'm constantly on the Wi-Fi rolls over. Do you know how much data I have built up?
And it didn't used to roll over before they went to court and they made it roll over. Otherwise, you would lose it at the end of the month. And then it rolled over. Wow, I get, 2 gigs a month? Is that what mine? Yeah, mine's 2 gigs a month.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so you have plenty.
I have 18 gig a month and I have rollover data. And I'm locked into that plan. They don't offer that plan anymore through Verizon.
Yes.
I think my phone bill, is like $178 a month for 4 lines.
That's good. That's really good.
I don't think it's that bad. For 4 lines, for that much data, blah, 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 blah. This woman goes on and on and on and on. And I'm like, I'm not interested. But I can save you money. I just want Fox Sports Detroit to be able to play on your streaming service. That's it. Okay. She gets it all set up, tells me how much it's going to be, gets it in about an hour. Everything should be provisioned. You need to reset your modem. I don't need to reset my modem. It's a streaming service. I don't have a box to hook up. I don't have to reset my modem to allow my computer to know that I can log into your. That's not how that works. But you tell people that. I didn't reset my modem. It still let me log in. Yeah. So about, 30 minutes or so goes by. I log into the website and I see all the channels and I type in Fox Sports and I hit enter and all of them have a key on them because they're all locked out. I'm like, maybe I'll give it the remaining 30 minutes and see if it actually becomes active. It didn't. So I called them back. And I get a new lady. First, they sent me to the wrong tech support. And I'm like, I don't want tech support. I want your sales team. And they're like, okay. So they sent me over to this sales team. This lady gets on the phone, has the most Alabama accent I have ever heard in my life. It was adorable. I tell her, I called an hour and a half ago. This is what happened, blah, 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 blah. And she goes, oh, yeah, that package doesn't offer that. And I said, I know. Now I know. But she told me it did. She's like, oh, no, that package doesn't offer that. We're going to have to get you off that package. We're going to have to do this. She's like, she didn't listen to anything you said. And I'm like, no, she didn't listen to anything I said. Even when I told her I didn't want the services she was trying to sell me. This is why I don't like Spectrum. I just do not like them as a company. So this lady is like, okay, we can fix this. And then I hear her like talking to herself going, huh. And I'm like, what? And she goes, well, you have our gigabyte internet plan. And I said, yeah. She goes, see, if I take your gigabyte internet plan off of your plan so that I can put you on the Charter Select plan and bundle your internet together to give you a way better price, they're going to charge you a $99 installation for your gigabyte plan. I said, but I already have it. Yeah, see, it's really finicky when we try to do this through the system. So I'm going to put you on hold. Okay, I was on hold for like 25 minutes. Waiting for them to come back. She comes back. She says she has it all figured out. We can give you the Charter Select plan. You get 270 channels. It includes all those Fox Sports channels you want. Your bill's only going to go up $10 a month because I bundle all this stuff together. Cool, whatever. I don't care. Please, can we just get off the phone? And then you know what she says?
What?
How do you stay in touch with your family and friends?
No!
I'm like, no! I'm like, and I told her, I said, no. I'm like, the other woman tried to do this, and she's like, okay. Thankfully, she didn't try to push it. She was just like.
She was in. Well, let me ask you this. Who do you use to send faxes with? What's your fax provider? Is it NetZero?
Oh, God. Yeah, wow. So she got it all figured out, And then we're almost off the phone and she goes, huh. And I'm like,
no!
Not another one.
Not another huh. No more emotes. Please, no more emotes.
So I don't have TV. I don't want TV. I want your streaming service. The way their system is set up with Spectrum, according to this woman, was they have to ship me a TV box that they charge you $10 a month for, but she waived it for 3 months.
Oh, that's nice of her.
So they have to ship me the box regardless. And I'm like, what? And she goes, I'm going to waive the fee for you. You don't have to pay it. She's like, actually, I'll waive the fee for the next 3 months so you don't have to pay it and you have all this time to return it. And she's like, when you get it, call them, tell them you don't need it, and then you can just return it. I'm like,
that's a waste of human lives.
It is the stupidest. I got the box today. The box showed up today. Yeah. My mom had a great story too. My mom lost internet. The end of my story is I have it all hooked up now, but the story doesn't really end there. So I get it all hooked up and I go to my Fire Stick, and Fire Stick doesn't have the Spectrum TV app, and neither does the Roku, and only the Samsung TVs do, and the Chromecast. Well, I don't have a Chromecast. So I had to order a Chromecast.
But hold on, I'm confused. But if you got cable with the channel on it, then why do you need
But I don't. I have the Spectrum streaming service. If I keep that box they sent me, I can hook that box up to one television in my house and have TV on one television. Because the cable is still so old. Cable went from the plug goes into the back of your TV and you magically have cable to they switched everything over to digital, and now the plug goes into a digital box that then goes into your TV, and then you can only have TV on that TV. If you want it on another TV, you got to pay another $10 a month for another box.
Oh, that's their decoder. Oh, ugh.
Yeah.
That's old school. You know why? You guys
yes.
probably have like old lines and old stuff there.
Yes. So that is the way it is set up. So Spectrum TV streaming service apparently is new. Apparently Roku had the app, but they got into a fight with Charter in December and they removed it. So
I'm taking my app and I'm going home.
And if you had the app installed, you're good. But if you didn't, they removed it from the App Store. Now you can't get it.
Okay, so you got to jailbreak it to get it back on. Blah, blah, blah,
you got to jailbreak it. You got to do it. And I just don't feel like going through all that.
No, we're old now. I'm done with that.
Yes.
I'm done with bootlegging.
So,
right.
Now I got to get a Chromecast. So I go to Walmart.
Well, the first step is admitting that you went to Walmart.
I did. I went to Walmart. I walked in the door, and there was a girl there with a fake emotional support dog. And I as soon as I walked in the door, I'm like, this isn't going to end well. And I walked to the back of the store. I picked up the Chromecast. I bring it home. I wanted the one with the remote. I didn't pay attention. I brought it home. I grabbed the wrong one. So I went back. I returned it. First I got online. I checked. It said they had them in stock. So
in stock at Walmart. In
stock at Walmart. So I went back and returned the other one, and I walked to the back of the store, and sure enough, there's none of them on the shelf. So I asked somebody for help. The guy was not the nicest. Ooh, they're not on the shelf? No, they're not on the shelf. Well, if it says we have them, they've got to be around here somewhere.
All right,
yeah,
helpful,
that's kind of obvious there. Captain Obvious. So he goes over there, he scans it, he tells me they have 8 of them in stock. They don't know where they are. So he goes and gets another guy who I think I described this guy to Jamie as a man in his probably late 50s that never left the 1980s.
Oh, right.
He looked like he should be on a movie or a TV show from the 80s.
The 80s are back in now.
So, and maybe that was why.
Maybe
I don't know.
He's popular again.
So he comes over and says, oh yeah, we have 8 in stock. They're probably on the truck that's parked out in the back. So they're not actually here because we haven't offloaded them from the truck yet.
Oh my gosh. Well, sell me one out of your trunk. Where's the truck? Let's go.
From what I remember when I worked at Walmart, and maybe it has changed, it won't show as inventory until you've taken it off the truck and scanned it.
Yep, until you've imported that PO.
So I, at that point, was like, forget it, whatever. I went home, I ordered it for 2-day shipping to have my Chromecast. So I can watch the TV, like I have my second monitor over here. I can watch it through a web browser.
Sure.
I can watch it on my phone, whatever. So Hopefully I'll have my Chromecast to be able
listen
to
up, brick and mortar. If you guys want to exist, you're gonna have to start going above and beyond and stuff. You're gonna have to find it for them.
Yes.
You're gonna have to search, even at the bike shop. No, we don't have it, but you know what? Let me see how I can put it in your hands, because you know what? You don't need me. You can go put it in your hands yourself without leaving, without even getting dressed, if that's how you roll. So I need to go above and beyond to make sure that you don't go to the internet, because it's a dying breed and stuff like that is what is gonna start killing. It's gonna kill everything.
It's just that constant reminder of why I don't like Walmart.
Right. And go ahead.
They don't carry it at Meijer. So, like, they don't carry Chromecast at all at Meijer. I don't know why, but they don't.
Not all places carry Amazon products. More and more and more. But when I tried to find one of those little dongles a couple years ago, I noticed that, maybe a Target and I don't even think Walmart at the time. Yeah, maybe Target and Walmart were the only two places that I could go to get an Amazon product. More tragedy, Jess. Then you try to go find those delicious cookies.
Yeah, I tried to find the Brookios, and they didn't have those either.
Brookios from Oreo.
They did have 3D Doritos, though, so.
Yes.
So that was a win.
Yes. At least
we tried the spicy ranch ones, and they were phenomenal.
Are they? Okay, cool. I can't wait to get my hands on them. I have a tiny little bag that I got from the Frito-Lay lady that made me feel like I was the only person in the world to have them. I walk into the Circle K because I heard they were at the Circle K, and the Frito-Lay, the Dorito truck was outside. I walk in there, I go straight to the Dorito lady and say, hey, what's up with these 3D Doritos? She's like, man, they're only at Circle K. I have 2 Circle Ks I stock for, and I had to bring the last of them over here to this one because they were so popular. You can't get them in the Antelope Valley. And there's a few 100,000 people in this valley here.
Right.
And I'm like, whoa, do you have any more? And she's like, 1 bag left. And it's a mini bag of the chili one. So I purchased it. I held it out the window on the way home. Like, I have the only bag of 3D Doritos in the whole Antelope Valley. Kneel before Dan. And then the next day, you got them. And then I saw Jaleel White, Steve Urkel of Family Matters fame, had them out from Ralph's too. I don't know. You guys probably don't have Ralph's out there.
No.
So they're everywhere now. But you recommend them?
We had them at Walmart. They had them at our Walmart. That was where I ended up getting them.
Yeah.
So I did get. At
least you get those, but no Brookios.
I got no Brookios. I got the hazelnut Oreos though. They had those.
Ooh, I have not tried those yet, but I did make a review. It just went up today on Tuesday of the Brookio Oreos at RFS Stand on YouTube. So you'll want to check out those things to see how many hawks I rated the Brookio Oreos. I do want to try the Nutella ones even more. I want to try those Dane Doritos, but they weren't at my Walmart yet. Okay, so you go home, you order your Chromecast. And then that's it. So hockey, because hockey starts, if you guys are listening to this today on Wednesday, it starts today at Wednesday, much earlier than normal. Usually we have 7 o'clock games, 2 o'clock. So if you guys are hockey fans, pay attention just because you might have early games. Since there's nobody going to be in the arenas, they're having games a lot earlier.
So our first game is Thursday, the 14th, and it's at 7:30.
See, I wonder if I could bring this up here. Okay, perfect. So you guys have
I have one at 7:30. And then I have one. But you said yours is at 3 o'clock. But that's 3 o'clock your time.
No. It's yes. Just like 2:30 my time, Pacific time. So 5 o'clock.
That's still 5.
Yeah, but usually it's 4:30 for me because it's 7:30 games. So hockey is a 4:30 and a 7:30 time limit depending on where you're at. And now it's because they're doing a triple header tomorrow. So there's a 2:30, a 5, and like a 7 game.
Right.
But hockey is different this season. That's why.
Mine looks like mostly normal time. Sunday the 24th, there's a game that starts at 12:30.
Okay, and that's not.
But
that's
the
not
other
uncommon.
the other games that are in front of that look like
but that's 9:30 for me. Like I'm waking up early on a Sunday morning to watch hockey.
Right.
Which I've done before.
Exactly.
So hockey's way different this season. And as you notice, you can see on the screen here if you guys are watching the video version at CC Mouse Podcast. There's 4 divisions. Everybody's staying within their divisions because of the popular flu. So there's not too much traveling. So everybody's going to stay in their division and play each other 8 times, which is going to lead to a fight because by the 3rd or 4th time you played that same team, you're sick of that guy and it's going to be fighting. But I noticed this. The leagues are suffering financially. And if you notice on the screen here, there are now sponsors for each division. There's the Western Division that's sponsored by Honda and it's got the blue Honda. The blue Honda logos. The Scotiabank division for the North, which I was hoping we'd get the Scotiabank one in the East. There's the Mass Mutual and the Discover Card divisions in the Central, which is colored like the Discover cards. A lot of people were very upset with it, and it goes further. The sides of my Pittsburgh Penguins helmets now do not have the Pittsburgh Penguins logo on the side of them anymore. It's got the PPG Paints Arena logo on the side of it.
Oh no.
It's starting. Hockey's not new to this. NHL is. So at first I was upset a little bit of like, great, here we go. We're going to all look like NASCAR jerseys.
Right.
But the NHL's like, dude, we're broke. Like, we need some cash. And then so I do get it. I will say in places that are hockey's more popular, because hockey's not the most popular in America. Russian hockey, the KHL and stuff like that, they have different NHLs in different countries, right? In Russia, sponsorships are not only all over you. You look like a NASCAR driver. They are all over the ice too. It is hard to follow that puck around when there's just 50 logos on the ice. So, and then their superstars will have like a different painted helmet. One of them will have a flame. Like if you had your superstar in your hockey team, they'd have flames painted on their helmets. So they really, really like sell everything. There's cars that'll be parked up against the glass for car promotions and stuff. So we're kind of headed that way a little bit.
Right.
But I don't know. What do you feel about all these sponsorships creeping in? Do you care?
I mean, it's hard. It's hard because it's not like they're selling tickets to games. It's not like they're not filling the stadiums. I guess what I was reading is you can buy social distancing tickets for the Red Wings games. They're letting you come to the games, but I think they have it capped at 500 people. I think is what it is.
They were doing that for football for some of the arenas. Pittsburgh was doing it. We have in Pennsylvania, they have a hard no. But some of the arenas for like the Chargers and stuff like that, they were doing groups of people. So you and your group could go, and then they were social distancing away. 20 to 25% full, I think they were trying to make the arenas.
Yeah, I don't know what legally they're allowed to do in Michigan, what the inside events what it's supposed to be, but
okay, right.
But I did see that you could get tickets for the games still.
See, that is cool. That is cool. That is still unique. So you could yell and scream and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like I get that, but they have not had that for Pittsburgh. The OHL is called the Ontario Hockey League. I know we're getting kind of deep into there. They're like the juniors. When you're younger, you play in there. After you've been drafted, and you go to development. In Canada, they're trying to play no contact. And I don't know how they can pull that off. They don't really want you hitting each other, which takes away from the game, period. Yeah. So they were trying to work that out, and people were upset about that. They're like, just don't
like two-hand touch for football instead of tackling.
Yes,
it's just two-hand touch.
Right? And you can see on the screen real quick if you're watching the video version of it. Look at that. Look at those McDonald's logos everywhere. Toyota around the guy's like knees and stuff like that.
I wonder how much that would cost. Can we get a podcast logo on there?
Right. And the ice isn't much better. I don't want to scroll through here too much, but the ice isn't much better either. So at first I was a little upset, but then you know what? We need the money. Like I don't want hockey to go out of business. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, hopefully they've only got to survive another year or so, and things can go back to more normal than now. But
the most unfortunate part is when they drew the lines. There was a little bit of a chance that I thought they would draw them, so you would be in my division. I really was hoping that they would. You guys used to be on the same side as us, and now you're on the different division, which makes it hard for travel for you guys. But we don't get to play each other at all. We could for the cup. I guess in the very, very end we could play for it. But it sucks that we're not going to get to have a rival this season. But we're going to get to watch each other. Like, we're going to get to watch hockey with each other. Like, that's fun.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, you guys,
I'm excited about that.
You guys really had a lot of changes in the offseason, so I'm excited to see what you guys do.
Hopefully we don't suck.
Me too. I did well. We had all our things, and we're at the end of like when you go to a party, we're at like 1 a.m. where the party's starting to wind down. You don't want it to end. You might be able to squeeze another hour out of the party, but it's never going to be as good as it was 3 hours earlier. That my team's doing that as well.
Yep.
All right, let's see. I got all this other stuff here on the list to talk about. Oh my gosh. Dan returns raw dogs. We can talk about that another day. Oh, the new Jeep.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow. And I will say, before you start talking about this new Jeep, they had this really rad reveal party. Like it was kind of...
I loved it.
Yes, it's kind of like when Apple does their things or when Google does their like their press conference things. And there was just
You've never watched one of those before? Jeep does that all the time.
Jeeps were like dangling from places and spinning around, and like I'm like, what are you guys doing? And it was cool. There was fog machines and lights and lasers, and
they're way more fun when there's people in the audience. They usually do those to like they have the media come in and they have all these like people come in, and that's the reveal. Like that's when it's because
it's exactly what they do with electronics and video games and stuff. I've never seen it. I've never seen them dangling cars around and 360 in cars and stuff. I thought it was super exciting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Me too.
I didn't see, though. I was trying to flip through it to see if they were pumping up the new Renegade, the new My Car, but I did not.
Not yet.
I did
yet.
not see that.
The reveal that you watched was the reveal for the 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee L.
That was the grand finale?
That was the grand reveal.
So I got there for the good stuff.
But it was for the Jeep Grand Cherokee L. So Jeep's coming out with a couple new vehicles, new designed vehicles. They're coming out with they just came out with the Gladiator. Everybody saw that. They're coming out with the Wagoneer. They did a reveal for the Wagoneer, the concept reveal for the Wagoneer, what it's going to look like, things like that. It's not trail rated, so plus it's going to be really expensive. So I'm not really, really interested in it. I thought I would be because it's bigger, and I love my Grand Cherokee. Like, this is the 5th Grand Cherokee that I've, is it the 5th?
4th one, wait. Blue, 2 red.
I had black, blue, green, gray, 2 red. 5th. This is the 5th one. So this is the 5th Grand Cherokee that I've had. I love my Grand Cherokee. My biggest thing I don't like about it is it's just a little bit too small sometimes. When we had 3 dogs, of course it was too small. But with the 2 dogs, it's not as bad. But I still wish that the back end of it was a little bit bigger than it is now. And when I heard that they were making a 3-row Grand Cherokee, I got really excited. My first question was, am I going to be able to lay down all 3 rows of those seats? Is it bucket seats in the back? Can I do a bench seat in the back? Like, I had all these questions. So I get alerts on my phone whenever like the secret stuff comes out. There's like, here's the new Jeep rumor. Here's the new Jeep rumor. And I saw a lot of these rumors before I watched the reveal thing. But I watched it. I sent it to you. I was watching it. I sent it to Jamie. Jamie was downstairs watching it. And I swear I felt like we were little kids messaging each other back and forth. He's like, oh my gosh, look at this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this. And he's like, look at how big the back doors are. That'd be so much easier for the dogs to get in and out of. And we were talking about all this stuff. And then I hear him come running up the steps. And I have a chair sitting here because we've been working on cards. And he sits down. And he's like, I got to come up here and watch this with you. So we're both sitting there watching it. And it was right before they showed the interior. And when they showed the interior, he's like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, it's going to be so much money.
Yeah, I'm looking at the interior.
In my brain, I'm like, it's going to be so expensive. But I love it. I love the design on it. It looks a little bit more truck-like than the regular Grand Cherokee.
A little bit, a little flat.
A little bit more truck-like. It does have all the same features, all the same features available that my current Jeep has. So it has the Quadratec lift, so you'll be able to lift it up and down. It'll have so many inches of clearance, park mode, mine has the off-road mode, trail rated, which is a big thing for us because I want a vehicle that I can drive on the highway, but that I can also take on the dirt roads and the back roads so I can get wherever I want. So
right.
I'm excited that it has the abilities that my Jeep has, but it's a little bit bigger. They are coming out with a Jeep Grand Cherokee, like mine, a new version of that this year as well, which is they're supposed to show that and announce that. I think in a couple of weeks, they're finally going to do the reveal of that vehicle.
But that won't have a 3rd row.
That's not going to have a 3rd row. That's going to be just like my Jeep now, but supposedly the body design is changing, the interior is changing a little bit, but it's going to be the same size. This is the Jeep Grand Cherokee L, so this has a 3rd row seat.
Yes. Can you see the pictures?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. That's a lot more room. That looks like it's a lot easier for you to be able to get the dogs in and out.
Yeah. Yeah. I really, really like it. It's not something cool. I've never bought a brand new car. I'm not big on buying brand new cars because you buy a brand new car, you drive it off the lot, and it drops so much money as soon as you drive it off the lot. So I'm not big on buying, and that's not for all brand new cars. Some cars maintain their value a little bit better, but something like this, you're going to buy it, you're going to drive it off the lot. If you go to turn around and sell it, you're going to lose, a couple $1,000s immediately. So it'll probably, if we get one, wouldn't be something that would happen for at least another 2 to 3 years. It would be somebody would lease it, and then we would turn around and buy, a buyback from a lease or something like that.
Well, at least next time you need to get one that it's going to be something that's going to be easier on you to work with.
Right. And our local dealership said you could already order them. Again, I'm not ordering one, but I did tell them I did tell them when they get one in that's available to be test driven, I would like to test drive it.
Yeah. I think that's good. They look pretty. The Wagoneer, though, looked a little bit more SUV-ish, like an Escalade.
So the Wagoneer is competing with the Cadillac Escalade and those
that's
big,
exactly the vibe
the
I
Suburban.
got right
they are going for that ultra luxury SUV. It's going to cost $100,000. It's going to be that. It's all chromed out. Everything inside's real. The interior on it is gorgeous. It's a nice looking car.
Oh, yeah. It looks like an Escalade.
Yes. Not something I want to drive. I don't feel like it's true to the Wagoneer. The original Wagoneer for its time was a very it was a higher end vehicle as well, but it was also it was a workhorse. Yes.
that one, right?
Greg had
the family
one.
van.
Greg had one of those, but it was a workhorse. Those things could do anything, and I feel like the new Wagoneer is not modeled the same way.
No, like I said, I had no idea anything about it. I'm like, that's an Escalade.
But I mean, hey Jeep, if you're watching and you're listening and you want to send us one, I'm totally let me drive one around and I'll give my full review on it.
I love my Jeep. I love my little Jeep.
I love every Jeep we've ever had.
Well, that's going to be cool. At least it's something to get excited about. I know you love music and cars.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And you said the doors are going to open up wider too, so you'll have a better...
There's not like a good side-by-side view comparison, but if you look at the standard Jeep Grand Cherokee, the one I have, the back door isn't a whole door. It like comes and then there's like a curve before it. So when you open it, you get into the seat, if that makes sense. Where this one, it looks like when you open the back door, you're going to have so much more space to get into the vehicle, which doesn't seem like a big deal. Unless you load dogs in and out that door. It's an awkward angle for them to jump at. It's also an awkward angle when you're trying to pick them up and take them out of the vehicle. We've dealt with that for years. I don't like opening the tailgate of the vehicle because I feel like when I open the door, I can body block the door. When I open the tailgate, it's this wide. I'm not that big, to body block the dogs and keep them inside. Now, usually I have leashes on them. If nobody else is in the car, I'll
not usually.
It's
100% of the time, people, and all the doors have to be shut first. We have to lock the clips on them. Then we have to have the clip check. I have to have a clip check. Then I have to have the whole things until you give the command for me to. I get commands too. to release the thing. Like it's an ordeal. It's not sometimes. It's an ordeal. And when you open your trunk, there's 3 seconds before you can really see what's going on in that trunk. That if they want to go south and go down, they can. But if they choose not to do anything, so
they're pretty good. Like we've pretty much trained them to stay until we tell them it's okay to get out. But it's because I don't want them to just charge and jump out of the vehicle. So I've always tried to train them to stay there until I say it's okay. But there always could be that moment where there's a rabbit or there's a cat or somebody calls their name
or just because. Yeah. So that'll be good. It'll be cool to see the next time you get a car. It'll probably be a 3-seat wagon.
Yeah. I'm excited about it. It'll be interesting. It'll be neat. It'll be between that or Jamie getting that V8 Rubicon, which you didn't watch the reveal party for that, but that was amazing too.
I saw that the Rubicon was on one of these big old lift things.
Yeah.
So, thank you. Sorry. FedEx is dropping off packages at my door. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. I have no idea what it is. Yeah, so cool. Good. I have other things in here. Are you done with anything else on the Jeeps? Go Jeep, go. I recommend Jeep if you want a new car. I do like my Jeep.
Yeah, I like mine.
No complaints. Here's another major story because we're getting to the top of the hour here, so I gotta watch out. I have so much stuff to talk about because I've been down and out for so long that we'll take all the stuff I can push till next week. And let's go into this other topic here. We get emotional about emotional support animals not being allowed on planes. This is a topic that you're gonna have to help educate me on because I have no idea about any of this stuff. I don't know. So educate me. Why does this make you up in arms? Why does this make the fur stand up on your back?
So American Airlines was one of the first to do it, and now Delta is jumping on board, and they're no longer allowing emotional support dogs to fly on airplanes. Let me say that again. Emotional support dogs.
Support dogs.
Yes. So there's a service dog. Service dogs are specifically trained to perform a task. They may be a seeing eye dog for the blind. They may be a dog that detects your seizures. You know, there are dogs that can detect seizures. They're specifically trained for a task. Usually these dogs go through a lot of schooling. You know, they're not cheap. You have to pay for the dog. You have to pay for the schooling. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, please don't touch me. Please don't touch me. Vests.
Please don't touch me. Right. Yes. So service dogs are protected by the American with Disabilities Act. Service dogs, you can't tell somebody with a service dog that they have to leave your store because that's a service dog. They're protected by the American with Disabilities Act. Now, emotional support dogs don't need training. They don't really need anything. There is no certification. Some people think you can get them certified as an emotional support dog. That's not a thing. There is no emotional support dog registry. There's no emotional support dog anything. So some people really, really need emotional support dogs. Some people can get like prescriptions from their doctors or notes from their therapists and say, hey, I need to have this dog with me because I have depression or I have whatever I have and this dog is what helps me get through these things, or I have anxiety and this dog helps me with my anxiety. It's not trained to help you with your anxiety, but it helps you with your anxiety. So you know, a lot of times if you're going into an apartment and you say, this is my emotional support dog, if you bring in a doctor's note, they're like, all right, you can have your emotional support dog here. Still not protected.
Okay, it doesn't get the same protection as a service
does not
animal.
Get the same protection. You are not supposed to take emotional support dogs into Walmart. I'm just saying. You're not supposed to take them into restaurants. You are not supposed to take them, like, not that you're not supposed to take them. They don't have the same rights as a service dog. Service dogs are allowed in restaurants. I had a blind man that used to come into the deli. His name was Al. He was amazing. He used to bring his dog in. It's a restaurant. You would think a dog in a restaurant would want to sniff everything. Nope, that dog would walk him right to his table. He sat at the same table every time he came in. Al would sit down. The dog would get underneath the table and stay there.
Clocked in.
He had the vest on.
Clocked in.
Yep, he had the vest on that said, don't pet me, blah, 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 blah. You know, you could walk over there with food. The dog would not react. The dog was, this is my job. I am at work. Al would go to leave. The dog would walk him to the door, help him find the door. The guy was blind, couldn't see anything. Like nothing. Like when we would give him his food, we would always ask him, because some blind people don't want you to help them and some of them do.
And I have dealt with that in retail. Yes, correct.
So we would always, you know, when Al first started coming in many, many years ago, we would always say, you know, we've set this right here and it's right here. Do you want me to put your hand on the spoon or do you want me to put your hand on the bowl? And the first few times he didn't. And then after he came in and we kind of, you know, he started to know us better. He would then say, you know, just put my hand on my coffee or just put my hand. So we would, you know, take his hand and put it where it needed to go. But anyway, that's off topic. He was a cool guy. The problem with emotional support dogs is I could buy a ticket for a Delta flight and say I have anxiety or I have depression or I have whatever, and Memphis is my emotional support dog. She's not. Memphis makes me happier. She makes me feel better. You know, so does Kira, but we're just going to use Memphis as the example. So let's say I'm afraid of flying and I need Memphis to help me get on an airplane and fly. I'd just call Delta and be like, yeah, so I have an emotional support dog and now she can fly on the plane. It's not necessarily true in my situation. It's not true. But I could call them and I could say that and they would let my dog get on the plane. The problem is when my untrained, didn't go to school or anything, emotional support dog gets onto the plane and it's now, and Memphis wouldn't do this, but, you know, it's now barking at the actual service dog on the plane or it pees on the airplane because it's not trained. It's not trained to perform these tasks. It doesn't really have any schooling. You know, it makes it difficult for those people who actually have service dogs.
Okay.
And
yes,
that's where it becomes an issue. I'm not saying emotional support dogs are a bad thing or therapy dogs are a bad thing or things like that. I'm not trying to say that at all. The problem is that people have abused the system. They lie and they abuse the system.
I have seen that firsthand. There was somebody on my Facebook that was super excited to get their cat an emotional support license so they could just fly with them on the airplane.
Yes.
So I have seen that, and I can see where it's bad for service dogs, because when we started this topic right now, I'm like, dang, you're really gonna like talk about service dogs? No, there's a confusion, obviously, because I was confused too. It's not the service dogs per se. And I know I'm not stepping out of turn. I don't want to step out of turn. I don't know, like, if you have your emotional support dog or animal, I get it. Like, I get it. But there's a difference between it being trained and it not being trained, and that's where it is. Like the person that I knew that was questionable, who I'm sure just went and got the printed out certificate, and then there was no further training from that at all.
Yep.
Okay, so I see what you're saying now.
There are a lot of websites where you can go and you pay $100 and you get this magical certificate that says now your animal is an emotional support animal. Those aren't real. Those are fake websites that are just stealing your money.
It's like ordained, being ordained. It's like, here you go.
Yeah, they're just fake websites that are stealing your money. So the thing is you know, they're Delta and American Airlines and I think Alaskan and a couple other of them are now saying they've made it so that if you have an emotional, I might have to read through it again, but I'm pretty sure they made it so that if you try to fly with an emotional support animal, now you have to jump through more hoops. You can't just say your animal's an emotional support
That's
animal.
not unreasonable.
You have to have the doctor's note or the note from your therapist or the note from that says specifically, I'm terrified to fly without this animal, or this animal has to be with me for this. And then they can still say, no. They could still say no. But if you're blind and you can still get on with your service dog, there is a difference.
Correct. Okay.
There's a difference.
Okay.
When I went into Walmart the other day and the lady had her little foo-foo dog that she was carrying, that was not an emotional support dog. That was an excuse for her to allow that dog to go into Walmart. And a lot of times what you'll see is when you have these little dogs, no offense to little dogs, and then you have an actual service dog, a lab or whatever it is, the little dogs will go crazy and bark at these dogs, and these people have no control over their dogs. That's an issue. That's an issue for the service. Most service dogs are well trained and are not supposed to react to that. But if your emotional support dog that isn't trained goes after a service dog, you don't have control over your dog. That's the biggest difference between, which dogs should be allowed in stores and which dogs shouldn't be allowed in store. You shouldn't just be able to bring your dog on an airplane or whatever. I have an emotional support peacock. I have an emotional support horse. I have an emotional support pig. Well, now because it's an emotional support animal, you can just bring it on the airplane.
Right.
That's what started to happen, and that's now what they're trying to put a stop to.
Which is going to take off, because I knew this was going to happen, because it was really popular. And I'm all about, if you get it done the correct way and maybe you get some education for your pet.
Yes.
Then yes, all about it. But yeah,
I fully support that as well. Like, I'm not saying everybody breaks the rules. But the problem is that the people that continuously break the rules have really made it bad for everybody else. And that's where it becomes such a hard thing. Memphis makes me happy, and Kira too. But notice I always go to Memphis. Memphis is the cuddly one. Memphis makes me happier all the time. Yeah, I'm sure I would feel 10 times safer on an airplane with her with me. I'm sure I would feel calmer. I would have less anxiety. I would have less fear, because I would be calmer because she was around. I am calmer when she is around, but that's not a reason for me to be like, well, she makes me feel better or safer on an airplane, so I'm going to get on an airplane with this dog.
Right. A $79.99 right now, I could have Mouse registered as an emotional support animal before this podcast is over.
And it is not, there is no such thing as an emotional support animal registry.
Right. And like I said, I'm not knocking it, but my cat Mouse does not have any education on how to help at all. So, okay. And I think this will, like I said, catch on, because everybody was so afraid of this myth that's going around of, if you question them, you're going to get sued. No, you can question things. You're allowed to question things in the world, right?
You can, to a point.
The masses might hate it.
When it's a service dog, there are certain things you can and can't ask people.
I could at least ask you to provide the paperwork.
Nope. Well, okay, so I don't know if it's changed now, but when I worked in retail, we were told we were not allowed to ask that. We were allowed to ask if your animal was a service dog and what task your animal was trained to perform. That was it.
Right, but it cannot be against the law for me to at least be like, hey, man, like, can you show me that this is okay? Like,
you can't do that.
What happens
because
to me?
Now, nothing. I mean, nothing's going to happen to you, but they don't have to answer that. And it has to do with medical, with I don't remember what it is,
or something like that.
And again, this was years ago when I worked in retail, when I worked at, in actual, not at the deli, at other stores, where we were told this was the only thing we could ask people was, what
Weird.
task is your dog trained to perform?
So you have to show me your badge, but you don't have to show me if you have an animal that's a support animal. But you have to show me your badge if you're a person of the law. That is odd. I don't think there's anything wrong with like having like some sort of something to like, not that I would all the time, but like when it gets sketchy. But that's what was making everybody scared was my point for the last bunches of years. Like, you better not question that guy's squirrel. That thing will fly at you in a second. And then, you better not.
Right.
Okay.
And like, I wish that the airlines would change. So like, I would love to be able to fly somewhere with Memphis and Kira. I would gladly pay for I would pay a whole nother ticket. My dogs are not big enough to fly under the seat. If you have a dog that's under, I think it's 25 pounds or 35 pounds for Delta, if you have an animal, a cat, a dog, or whatever, that's under so many pounds, they can fly. They have to be able to fit under your seat.
Dude, nothing can fit under the seat. A pelt can't fit under there.
I flew with a cat on an airplane, and that's how she flew. She was in a cage, and it fit under the seat.
Was she quiet?
No. Well, we gave her tranquilizers, so she would be quiet.
Sure.
But we flew with a cat, and that was how we did it. So she didn't have to be a service animal. She just had to be a certain size. I really wish airlines would see how many more people, pets in people's lives now are way different than it was even 50 years ago. Pets are more family now than they used to be. They're not just, the dog that you chain up in your backyard and you throw stuff at it.
That was us. We were nicer, but yes, it was the outside dog.
Right. That's how a lot of people had dogs for years and years and years, where now pets are, it's a $70 billion a year industry. It's people love their dogs like family. People love their cats like family. People love their pets like family. I wish that one of these airlines would like section off a section of their plane.
Yes.
Where like you can fly with your pet, but they would have like dividers so that if, and only have so many seats, like maybe 6. Maybe you have 6 spots on every flight or every couple of flights where I could go in there and there's a little kennel thing or a little divider thing and I can sit in there in my seat with my dog and fly, but I have to pay for another ticket for them. Like I think really wish that, and maybe someday that will become a thing. Maybe someday an airline will come up with that, but I wish they would do, I think that would be a good solution for people that want to fly with their pets instead of trying to have them be a fake emotional support dog.
Instead of make it so they can go with what they want to go with instead of them trying to have to associate their animals with a service pet to jump through hoops just because the ultimate goal is they want to travel with their pets. So why not let's let them travel with their pets?
And that's the thing. That is the ultimate thing. People want to be able to travel with their pets. So why not make it a little bit easier to figure out instead of putting them in cargo, things like that.
It's a great idea.
I see people all the time that are like, here's my 8-week-old puppy. It's my emotional support animal. An 8-week-old puppy is not an emotional support animal. It's an 8-week-old puppy that needs to be trained.
I agree. But you know what though? We're shoved like sardines on those planes anyway. They have to shoehorn me into the seat. Yeah. So there's no room for that. But that is a great idea. That would be great.
I really think that it could be a lucrative business for some airline to do that instead of, because pets flying in cargo is dangerous. Yeah. Pets die in cargo, and some dogs can't fly anyway. All those like short nose, like pugs and like French bulldogs, any of those dogs that have the real short noses that snort. Mm-hmm. The ones that don't breathe well because they've been bred improperly for so long, they shouldn't fly on airplanes.
Yeah, that's just not good for them.
It's not. It's part of the way that they breathe and the cabin pressure.
Right.
There have been a couple dogs that have died inside of airplanes.
Yeah, see, that's no good. You could call it paw flights or pigs could fly. Pigs can fly. Right. Your little oink when you open up the app. Whoever
opens that airline then needs to open the chain of hotels that I've always thought should be opened. And it should be pet specific, hotels that specifically allow you to have pets, whatever type of pets in all their rooms, no matter what the size.
I agree with that.
Instead of Red Roof Inn, which Red Roof Inn promotes that, they allow pets. That's not really true. Sometimes they only allow pets that are 35 pounds. Sometimes they only allow one pet. Sometimes they don't allow cats.
Oh, yeah, not consistent.
So, yeah, we're pet friendly, sort of.
Yeah, I want, if it's pet friendly, I want the pet's bed to be bigger than mine.
Yeah, like have a pet friendly hotel that's pet. Like when we stayed at the Hilton Home
Those
2
are
Suites,
rad.
and they gave us pet bags at every single hotel. We got treats for the dogs and special bowls for the dogs. Like that was so cool.
Yeah, I like that place. That place was cool.
Yeah, that was
that
cool.
place was really cool. Well,
but
so
that's kind of the story on the
that is
service.
the story. Let us know what you guys think about this. We want to hear what you guys have to say about this topic. I'm mostly just getting educated because I've never had to dabble with that at all, and I just know it's a touchy subject.
It is a touchy subject, but I think that we're not saying that emotional support dogs or therapy dogs are a bad thing.
Yeah,
we're not. That's not what we're saying. We're just saying I understand why the airlines are doing this because so many people have abused it.
Exactly. Yep. As you're saying that, the cat is jumping into the turtle tank right now. I have one of these little footballs. I'm going to try to flick it at him real quick. Hey, get out of there, please. Oh, my gosh. There's nothing I can do about it. All right. Well, Jess, let's wrap this up. We've been going for a little over an hour here. It was a good night. I will take all the remaining topics and push them off till next week.
Okay.
Yeah. That was a good podcast.
I didn't even get to tell. I forgot when we were talking about Spectrum to tell the funny part of what my mom did.
Oh, yes. Okay, go ahead. Start going. Do it.
All right.
Let's do it. Why not? Hey, wait, it's our podcast. We can do this. Let's do it.
Yeah, we can do whatever we want. So after all the Spectrum stuff, my mom and dad lost internet. So my mom and dad called Spectrum because they wanted to shut their TV off and just have their phone and internet. Mm-hmm. So they sent him a new modem and said, you need a new modem. Your modem's old. So they sent him a new modem. My mom and dad tried to hook it up, which my mom and dad are pretty smart. They could do that on their own.
Yeah.
They tried to hook it up. It wouldn't work. They called Spectrum. Spectrum said, oh, we sent you a modem that the information wasn't erased on.
Sloppy.
So it didn't work. So they're like, okay, well, we're going to have to, send somebody out there or whatever. So they go to send somebody out there. My mom had to call again for something else. So she got on there. Oh, no, it was when she was shutting the TV off. So before they sent him the modem, when she was shutting her TV off, they, of course, are like, well, we can do this and we can do that and blah, 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 blah. And they asked my mom the same thing they asked me about the cell phone service. And my mom goes, oh, my daughter takes care of our cell phone. You can't get it any cheaper than that.
You may have talked to her earlier, ma'am.
Yeah, right. So yeah, my mom and dad didn't have internet for it was internet or phone for almost 3 days.
Yeah, I saw that. She was talking about that.
Yeah, and then the guy from Spectrum comes out, walks in, grabs a modem, and goes, oh, they sent you a modem that hadn't been erased yet. And my mom's like, yeah, that's what they told us. He's like, oh. So he went back out to his truck and got a new one, hooked it up, had him back up and running in 10 minutes. I'm like, how do you, we sent you a modem, it was wrong.
That's bad. That is poor.
Yeah.
That is bad. Yes. At NASA, you would get in trouble. You'd get in so much trouble if you did something sloppy to that effect.
So that was the other Spectrum story.
Wow, so you still only have 24 hours or so to get your stuff together. Otherwise, you're going to miss hockey.
Well, no, I can watch it on my computer.
That's true.
I just can't watch it on the big TV. I mean, this is pretty... When you're sitting this close, I don't know what this is. 24-inch monitor.
27?
Is it 27?
I think that's our standard now. Is it the same as Jamie's?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we're 27's like the good price.
Yeah. So a 27-inch monitor is bigger than you'd think.
It is. I love mine. My Samsung curved one that I have here. I love this thing. Oh yeah, it's definitely makes me happy.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this, Jess. That'll do it for this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. Listen to us every Wednesday on your favorite music app. Visit us on the YouTube version of the video version. Yeah, check out the video version
of the podcast.
Nope. Start over. No, I can't start over. There's no going back. There's no editing. This is our podcast. That's it.
YouTube.com/CC Mouse Podcast.
It's written. It is literally written right there on the dang screen. It is there. We love you guys. You guys know where to find us. We'll see you guys next week here on the CC Mouse Podcast.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
We did a thing.
We're back in action in 2021.
Yay.